Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Comma Speaks. I'm so excited because we are in 2015. I'm really excited because it's such a milestone year for me. Some great things are happening. Actually, tomorrow I'll be 10 years in real estate, which I'm really excited about. But what I'm really excited about is my guest on tonight, Mr. Brian McNeill. One of the reasons I'm excited about it is because his energy, everything he's going to bring is going to change our lives, not just 2015, but 2015 and beyond. So make sure you take notes, you get ready. Thank you so much, Brian, for being on my show.
I am honored to be on your show, Kama. I'm really honored because you are doing tremendous things, and people love you, and I am just like those people. I love you as well, and tonight, everyone is going to get fed on this phone call. Everyone, on this webinar, everyone that participates tonight is going to learn something that's going to be immediately actionable for them, and they'll be all better served because of it.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I want those that are watching, if you want change, you need to pay attention. He has helped so many people in their lives, their businesses have made them money. People are so afraid to spend, but one thing I've learned over the years, it's important to understand where your money goes to, what you need to do, how to sell whatever it is that you're selling. And for somebody that says she wasn't a salesperson being in real estate, I am a salesperson. Every bit of information is so important. So I'm really excited. Again, Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you, and the floor is yours. Or the screen is yours today.
The screen is mine tonight. Awesome. I am going to be very respectful of our time frames. Everyone, you will need to write. I'm going to pour into you tonight something that I know will feed you. This is going to be done in segments. So because I coach people on how to sell their services, and I do it every day, I've learned some things over the years. And tonight we're going to kill some things that's been problems for people who sell their services for a long time. The first thing is the challenge of, what do you do for a living? I tell you, it's amazing how much you stump people when you ask them. And I'm going to put you all in the scene right now. You're at an adult cocktail party, no loud music, anything like that. And you end up in a huddle where there's a couple of guys and a couple of ladies that just happen to be standing next to each other. And they get into a friendly part conversation and they say to you, what do you do for a living? Now, in that setting, how do you answer that question? What I find more than 9 out of 10 times, the answer they give is clever, but not good. Most people do not have a great answer to that question. So the first thing we're going to do is learn how to answer that question and how to tell your story the right way. If you're taking notes, please, please, please understand that whenever you're given an opportunity to tell what it is that you do, if someone says, Kama, what do you do for a living? Someone says, Brian, what do you do for a living? That moment right there is an opportunity for you to introduce into the conversation a problem that you solve. So if you are taking notes, the first thing I want you to write down is, you know how, ... So if someone says, what do you do for a living? I want you to introduce a problem that you solve right away. If it's my business, someone says, what do you do for a living? You know how there's so many wonderful coaches and consultants out here with great services, and they really do help people, but they only beg at how to sell it. And because they only beg at how to sell their services, they don't earn nearly the money that they could. That's the problem that I help solve. The second thing I'd want you to write down is, well, comma, what I do is ... Well, comma, what I do is ... Now, the second part there, that well, comma, what I do is, that is your opportunity to introduce yourself as a solution to the problem. Well, what I do is, and you'll tell. And the third part of your story, your introduction story, is the most important part. And this is the part that people leave off. This is the part that actually earns you money. The third part is the great big payoff of working with you, and it looks like this. So that they can. So that they can. When you tell what you do, and you don't answer the question, or what the great big benefit is of working with you, no one retains that information and no one can consider hiring you. So the story would go like, you know how there are so many coaches out here that are only begging how to sell their services, and because of that, they don't earn nearly the money that they could? Well, what I do is I coach them on how to sell their services in such a way that they earn all the money that they're wanting to earn, so that they can actually be more profitable, more excited, more healthy, actually even more beneficial for their whole communities, really. So it's a story. Now, this is your story. This is not your elevator pitch. This is your story. Now, this, you know how. Well, what I do is so that they can. That is a story that you all need to master for yourselves. Now, I told Kama that I was going to give a simple formula to ensure that everyone is much more profitable this year. So here's what you got to do. You have to tell your story minimally once a day on the days that you choose to go to work. So if you don't work on a Sunday, you don't have to do it on a Sunday. But if you work 5 days a week, every day that you're working, I lost Kama. I can't see her. But every day that you choose to work, you have to use your own creativity and your own energy and your own volition to figure out a way to tell your story at least once a day. Tell your story to someone new at least once a day. Once you figure out how to tell your story at least once a day, then I'm going to want you to figure out how to tell your story twice a day. Once before lunch and once after lunch. In person or on the telephone. It has to be a direct communication. A post does not count. Once you have figured out a way to tell your story at least twice a day to someone new, I want you to keep bumping it up until you get to the magic number of 4. The magic number of 4 times a day. If you can figure out a way to tell your story, well, you know how, introduce a problem. Well, what I do is introduce yourself as a solution to the problem so that they can, which is the great big payoff of working with you. If you get to the place where you can tell your story 4 times a day, twice before lunch, twice after lunch, once before lunch and 3 times after lunch, whatever works for you, you cannot fail in selling your services just by telling your story. Even if you do it poorly, if you tell your story to someone new 4 times a day, you cannot fail. The magic number is 4, but the second magic number is 100. Starting right now, how long would it take for you to tell your story to 100 new people? Would it take you a month? Would it take you 2 months? Would it take you 3 months? It doesn't matter. If it takes you a full 90 days to tell your story to 100 new people, if you tell 100 new people that never heard your story before, your story over the next 90 days, next 3 calendar months, you will never have to look back on your selling career again. Just by you telling that story, you will become a different person along the way as you're telling your story. Tell your story. Tell your story the way I laid it out for you, and make it a point to learn how, with your own creativity, to tell your story once a day, because right now you're probably not. Once, then twice. If it takes you a week to figure out how to do it once, it takes you 2 weeks to figure out how to do it twice. The ultimate target is to tell your story 4 times a day, and you cannot fail. I challenge you to do just that simple thing. If you try, even if you told 100 new people your story, and then you said at the end of that, no matter what I say, don't buy my services, somebody will twist your arm and force you to sell them your services to them, because people have to. Just by you doing this little thing here in a disciplined way, you will succeed in selling your services. Now, I introduced to you a way of telling your story, and I gave you a challenge of why you cannot fail in telling your story. I'm going to cover right now Brian's 10 keys to being a champion in this type of business. The people I think we're talking to on this phone call, on this webinar right now, are people who sell services, coaching services, consulting services, any kind of services, financial services, any kind of service. Real estate can be sold as a service instead of as a product, which I think is a better way of doing it. The service of helping someone to find the right home or to sell their home. That's a service. Anyone who has an intangible service to sell, those are the people that I can help the best. I'm going to give you right now Brian's 10 keys to being a champion at selling your services. I do strongly encourage you to write down these 10 keys. Number one, and they're really in no particular order, they're just all 10. But the first thing I think you have to have in order to be a champion at selling your services is you have to be a great communicator. A great communicator. Now, when I say great communicator, I am not just talking about your ability to articulate a thought or explain a concept. That is important, yes, but that's not the only thing. When I say great communicator, it has 3 facets. One is your ability to communicate a concept. That's one. But the second part of that is your ability to listen well, to listen very well. A lot of times people will tell you how to sell them if you will listen with the right ear. And the third part is your ability to comprehend what is actually going on, even if they're not great at explaining it. How often in your life have you had this dynamic happen where someone said to you, come on over to my house, and you said, great, I'm coming, how do I get there? And then they can't explain to you how to get to their own home. It's because that not everyone is great at communicating. But even if they're not, that is not a showstopper to you, professional, because you have to be able to question skillfully enough to gain all the information that you need in order to properly help them. You got to be able to speak it clearly, listen very well, and be able to understand. To check your listening, listen to this story. Let's say that you are a bus driver, and on your first stop, you pick up 4 passengers. On your second stop, you pick up 4 more passengers. On your third stop, you pick up 2 passengers. And on your fourth stop, 5 passengers get off of your bus. Now, what is the bus driver's name? Now, some of you heard that story and will think immediately, you didn't tell us the bus driver's name. And I'll say, yes, I did. A lot of you will know that there's 5 people left on the bus. But I didn't ask you to do math. I asked you to listen. The bus driver's name is your name because I said, let's say that you are a bus driver. On your first stop, you pick up. On your second stop, you pick up. Exactly. If you didn't get that, that means you just need to pay attention to your listening. So in my opinion, the first key for you to effectively sell your services is you have to be a great communicator. Number 2, I think as a key thing in order for you to sell your services effectively is you must be a continuous prospector. A continuous prospector. I do not believe that you need to go out to prospect. I'm not that guy. But I do believe that you should prospect while you're out. You should prospect while you're in your normal social circles, doing your normal thing, whatever that is. The places you go, the events you go to, you should prospect during your normal social circles. If you don't have them, I encourage you strongly to get business cards that have your picture on it. The reason why I want you to have your picture on it is because people do not throw away picture business cards. And without your face on your business card, no matter how clever you think you are, your business card looks like everyone else's card. With your face on your card, your business card looks like your card. Picture business cards have legs. Someone will take your picture business card and throw it in the center console of their car, or they'll throw it on the dresser at their house, and their sister will pick it up, or their brother will pick it up, and that'll be the person that's interested in you. I tell my clients in the beginning, if they have no clients or if they have no start, in the beginning, what you want to do is whenever anyone takes your money, they also get your business card. Like if you pay a bill, they get your card. If you leave a tip for the waitress, they get your card. And if anyone asks you, what's this for, you will say to them, just in case you know of someone who might need this help, or just in case you know of someone who could use my services. This is your way to sell through people instead of to people. Instead of telling to the person that receives you, going into their network. The average American knows 250 people on a first name basis. And if you will go into everyone's network, that increases your opportunity to find business. Even the pimply faced kid in the drive-thru, if they take your money, they should get your card. This is something that takes no time at all to do. Because that pimply faced kid in the drive-thru, he'll give it to his sister or his mom or his dad. If you ask what's this for, just in case you know anyone who can use that. So that's a quick and easy way to get your business card into the ether. You have to be a continuous prospector, paying attention for opportunities. There is a concept called POR, P-O-O-R. How to be poor. Would you like to know how to be poor? Here's how you do it. You pass over opportunities repeatedly, because opportunities come to you often. If you see an opportunity and you choose to pass over it because of lack of courage or lack of tactics or lack of coaching or whatever, that's another opportunity you pass over, and you keep doing that, your overall quality of life will be poorer. If you need help with it, look at talking to a sales coach. I know of an excellent one. He looks and sounds a lot like me. Number three, third thing I think you need to have as a key in order to be an outstanding in your chosen career as a coach, consultant, or someone who sells services, is you have to have some basic selling skills. You do not have to be a master at sales, but you do have to have some basic selling skills. Now, when I say basic selling skills, I am primarily talking about your ability to ask for money and your ability to overcome objections to getting it. Basic stuff, how to ask for money and how to overcome objections to get it. If you're not awesome at that right now, holla at your boy, because I'm great at it. The fourth thing I think you need to have in my 10 keys to being a champion in selling your services is you have to be very organized with people. You earn your living with people. Now, I say very organized with people because in the United States, the average sale happens after the 5th attempt. Most people who do not come from a sales background never ask for the business, ever. They'll showcase what they have. They'll tell about what they do. They'll say, well, I do this, this, and this. I'm in financial services, this, this, and this. But they never say, will you give my service a try? Never. What they do is they tell about it, and they do great presentations, and then they sit there hoping that the person will say, can I buy from you, or can I hire you? Sometimes they'll say something else like, what do you think? What do you think is a horrible way to ask for business? Don't do it that way anymore if you have been. What do you think invites them to come up with a way or a reason not to hire you? So don't say that anymore. So you'll learn how to ask for business. People who do come from a sales background typically ask for the business once or twice, but then never again. Only the champions will ask for the business the requisite 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 times, whatever it takes. Now, if I ask you to give my service a try and you say no, and then I say, well, what if I do this? And you say, no, if I do that, that is not me asking 3 times. That's me asking 1 time and then bothering you. That's not the way to do it. When I say ask for this more than once, I mean at this setting here, and maybe overcome some objections, but then you send a thank you note the next day, thanking you for watching my presentation or taking part of my presentation, and give them another opportunity to say yes or no, and then you'll follow up again next week, next month, until they buy or die. Your fortune still is in your follow-up. But if you're not very organized with people, if you don't have a good tracking system, you will lose track as to who deserves an email, who gets a phone call, when was the last time you talked to that person, and what did you talk about. That's why you have to be very organized with people in order to be a champion in the selling of your services. Number 5, for you to be a champion in selling your services, you have to be very disciplined, self-disciplined. I define discipline as doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, with or without supervision, particularly when it comes to things about your start time. What time do you start your work day? People who start their work day at 7:30 one day, at 10 the next, 2 o'clock the next day, 8 a.m. the next, start times are going up and down like that, your money does the same thing. Your money goes up and down. Studies have shown again and again and again, people who start their work day at the same time, and it doesn't matter what time you start your work day, at 7:30 or 9 or 10 or even 2 in the afternoon, if you start your work day at the same time every day, you tend to earn more money over the course of a year than if you don't. So that's a simple thing you can do right away to exercise some self-discipline that will increase your money. Start your work day at the same time, whatever time you choose. Be very disciplined in doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, with or without supervision. You tell that client, I'm about to send you an invoice, okay? And then you go to lunches, not being self-disciplined. Send the invoice first. Number 6 on my list of 10 things that you must have in order to be a champion in selling your services is you have to be money motivated. Money motivated. That means you have to want to, on purpose, earn a lot of money through your services. So many people that I talk to, they come from service backgrounds, or they think differently. They don't think like salespeople. They'll think about being nice and serving and loving and learning about people, and they have the part about earning money as a back of the brain thought or a sideline thing. Like, if I serve a lot of people, I'll earn money, and that's true. But you need, I believe, for you to be a champion, you have to want to, on purpose, make a lot of money through your services. That should be a front of brain focus. When you start your workday, my job is to earn some money through my business. This needs to be a front of brain thinking. Money has to be wooed, and she wants to be wooed, and you have to have her on your mind. Like Brother Snoop said, I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. I think there's genius in that. You have to want to make money through your service. Be more money motivated on purpose, then you can be more of a champion in your game. Number 7 in my list of 10 things that I believe you must have in order to be a champion in your game is you have to have some fun and enthusiasm for your work. Now, when I say fun, that means you have to be able to figure out a way to have actual laughs during your workday. Enjoy the work so much where you actually can have a belly laugh and enjoyment of your work. And enthusiasm goes on that same line, because if you look at the word enthusiasm, where it was originated, it comes from 2 words, en plus theos, which literally means as if enabled by the gods. This word describes people who perform better during competition than they normally do. So when you perform your work enthusiastically, I'm not talking about bouncing off the walls. I'm talking about you performing your work as if the gods are helping you to perform your work. So I think you have to have fun and enthusiasm for your work to be a champion at it. Number 8 in my list of 10 things that you must have to be a champion in your game is you have to be studious. Study your craft. No one knows everything, and you can never let yourself believe that you are out of training. Today, the way it is you learn, you get your education, and then 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 you get your education. Never, never, never let you believe that you're out training. You are not. By my own count, I've read more than 700 books on the craft of selling. More than 700 over the past 24 years. And I don't read a book at a time. I read a page at a time. So you just read 1 page or 2 pages or 3 pages, and you get back to it. To be a champion, you must be studious. In my opinion, the price you must pay is study minimally 30 minutes a day on the days you choose to go to work. At least a half an hour a day, you must study. If you're unwilling to do that, then to me, you are unwilling to be a champion. Study your craft minimally 30 minutes a day. Number 9, for you to be a champion in your game, you must be a high energy, hard worker. The people who try to pontificate this thing about work smart and not hard are not helping anybody. Today, you must work hard and smart. The people you talk to in the evening and the afternoon deserve your same level of energy as the people that you talk to in the morning. You have to be a high energy, hard worker. Now, the thing about that is you know when you're working hard. Hard work pays off. In my experience, hard work pays off in about 30 days. So if I work very hard today, I receive the money for this hard work about 30 days from now. If I don't work hard today, if I halfway do today, I receive that money also in about 30 days. You need to work hard regularly so that your money can catch up to your efforts. That's how that goes. And number 10 of my list, and this is a really important one too, is you have to, as soon as you can, become systems driven. Driven by systems. Systems meaning the process that you take every potential prospect to, from introduction to becoming paying client, and how you follow up. We all have to develop our own systems that work for us. Systems are the most profitable thing that you can build for your business. Systems are more profitable than closing sales. Systems are more profitable than anything. You have to develop your own systems in order to be a champion. So now it is 8:27. I have given you 3 things tonight. I've taught you how to tell your story. I've taught you a formula of how often you need to tell your story to ensure your success. And I've given you Brian's 10 keys to be a champion in selling of your services. Right now, I'm looking for Sister Carmen to come back on and take over.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. I wrote down my notes, and as I'm going through my notes and I'm reading some of the things that I deal with, and I'm sure other people deal with. One of the things you said was money motivated. Just in the last, just being in sales, I'll just say being in sales, I always say don't get in it for the money, but you do it because you know you're going to get paid. So when I heard money motivated, at first I was like, I am motivated. I'm not that motivated. Well, I am kind of motivated by money, but I don't want that to be my primary thought. But as you began to expound on that, I realized that maybe if I change that just a little bit, I can make some more money in what I'm doing.
It would surprise you, Kama, how many people are not money motivated. They need to make money. They think about making money for their bills and say, but some people are more motivated by time, by free time. Some people are more motivated by being nice. Some people are more motivated by compliments than they are money. I am saying to you, like for example, on a Friday evening and it's raining and you've had a long week and a prospect calls you with a potential of you earning money, not guaranteed. They want you to come to them. Do you go? Do you go? That is a money motivated moment. Yes. If I'm not money motivated, I value my time more. I'm going to try to reschedule that. If I am money motivated, I'm going to go for the opportunity to earn money.
I see we got a slight delay. I don't know what happened just that quick, but I think we're good. Okay, well, you know what? Another thing I wanted to bring up was being high energy throughout the day. And what I find is that in the mornings, even with me, I can be excited about my day, what's to come, and then come 2, 3, 4 o'clock, that, hey, good morning, I'm excited, kind of goes down. But like right now, being on the show, I've been amped all day. I've been excited about it. I'm excited now. I'm writing down your notes. I'm like, we're definitely going to be talking after this because my goal is to soar. I have to soar this year and beyond. I always say beyond because I don't want to get stuck and say 2015 I'm doing this and that. That's fine financially because like I told my daughter, there's a financial year, but beyond. So I want to stay highly motivated. What keeps you highly motivated just throughout the day? Because every time I've talked to you early in the morning when I was in the bed at 6 o'clock, and you're just like, yes, what keeps you going and keeps you rolling?
I'll tell you what it is. It's a story. Can I tell you a quick story?
Go ahead.
The story about King and I. The King and I. There's a play that ran on Broadway. I'm from Brooklyn. This play ran on Broadway more than 10 years. Mm-hmm. And Yul Brynner at the time was the lead actor. Yul Brynner, bald-headed actor, he played the king. And there was this one reporter that followed him around, and Yul Brynner performed this show every night of the week. And this reporter saw this show many different times. And he said, sir, how do you do it? You perform this show every single night. And, I mean, it's the same songs, the same dances. How do you keep doing it phenomenally every time? I've seen you do it 11 times, and each time has been amazing. And Yul Brynner gave him the answer that's kind of resonated with my spirit. Yes, it's the same song. Yes, it's the same dances. But each time I do it, it's a different audience. I say a lot of the same stuff because this is what I believe in. But every time I get a chance to share my word, it's a different audience. And I believe the new audience deserves the very best of Brian.
Yes.
Audience.
Yes, yes. That's a very good way of looking at things and seeing it for what it is. So you should always give your all, always give your best. And as you were talking, I actually have an idea, but we're going to talk about that off air, because I'm always, when I talk to certain people, my mind just goes, and I have something that I'm thinking about doing just because of your energy, what you've given, being in real estate. It gets hard, and people don't know how to sell. They love the art of selling real estate, but they don't know how to sell. They don't know how to approach people. So that's something we'll definitely talk about. Before I let you go, I'm just looking over. Oh, one more question. You're saying to be a continuous prospect. So if someone's out there right now and they're listening to this, and tomorrow they're saying, you know what, I want to prospect, but I don't have any business cards, or I'm not paying somebody today and I do have business cards. What's the tip that you can give, either scenario or both, of something that they can do, or who they can approach, or even how to approach someone to prospect?
Okay. This comes up a lot, this question, and I appreciate the question. People step over and around so many opportunities. It's amazing. Just that person who's thinking like you are right now, how do I do it if I don't have business cards, or if I don't go anywhere? Unless you stay in bed with your covers up over your head, opportunities will still come for you to share your word. You're going to go someplace. You're going to pay for gas. You're going to pick up your dry cleaning. You're going to do something. If you don't have anything to go, then you should on purpose create opportunities. Within every city, there are networking groups. There's a chamber of commerce. There's groups on Facebook where you can meet people. Now, if you read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, it talks about you can gain more friends in 2 months by you becoming more interested in other people than you can in 2 years by getting people interested in you. Wow. So I would say to you is, if you don't have any opportunities or nothing like that, then you should start becoming more interested in other people. Look at who's doing what. Meet some people, because every time you meet someone new, it will stretch you. Ask the question to as many people as you can. If I'm talking to somebody, how do I know if that person's a good prospect for you? And you'll tell me something. You'll say if they want to sell their home, they're a good prospect for me, or something. Okay. Right. By me becoming interested in what is important to you, you will becoming interested in me. The law of reciprocation still works. Okay. So I would say if you have no opportunities, you need to create some. Network, become very interested in other people. Yes.
And with that said, for those that are watching and really paying attention, we have to stop taking the excuses out of what we don't have. I've done it over the years. I'm so guilty of that. Sitting down, being depressed, moping around, trying to say, oh, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. But one thing I find is that people, when they need to get into survival mode, they will get into survival mode. So it's all about how bad do you want it? How bad do you want the success? How much do you believe in yourself? Because people around you, they're not going to always believe in you. You have to sometimes prove yourself to them, but prove yourself to yourself. You worry about you, and you just make it happen. This is what we have. We have these cell phones. Maybe I shouldn't show it because mine is cracked, but we have this cell phone. And these cell phones, you don't have a business card, you can go talk to them. Hey, let me lock you in, or can I text you my number? There's absolutely no excuse for why you can't get to where you need to get to.
Let me say this about that too. Real estate agents particularly, I have helped more real estate agents than any other industry other than maybe insurance and coaching. Real estate agents get a lot of training. They know what they're supposed to do. Yes. But what they need is motivation to get off the couch. Right. That's what they need. Real estate agents is one of those industries that need more motivation than coaching. Motivation. Because if you've been in real estate for a long time, you have these years like 2008, 2009, and some seasons where you get your butt kicked, and then you get your butt kicked a bunch of times, and then it's harder for you to get off the couch.
Yes.
YouTube, I'm a big YouTube guy. I do a lot of my study through YouTube. You
Yes.
can learn some stuff, okay? You have to, on purpose, like you were suggesting, you have to, on purpose, put this positive stuff in your head, because the negative stuff is going to come to you all the time unbidden. You don't have to ask for negativity. It keeps coming at you. But you do have to, on purpose, put the positive stuff in your system.
And if anybody is watching, you can ask questions before we wrap it up completely. This is definitely some good stuff. I normally go about 30 minutes, but it's powerful. It's something that's going to help you. That's why I chose Brian. I asked him if he can be the first person of the year. Because this is what we need. This is what common needs. And that's the beauty of me having this show, is that I can get what I want. So I definitely needed this. I've been reading As a Man Thinketh. And whatever you think you are is what you're going to be. So you think you're a failure, you'll be a failure. If you think you're successful, you will be successful. It's simple. You think you can lose weight, you will lose weight, but you got to take the steps to do so. So I'm going to let Brian tell you all his information, how you can get in contact with him, how you can book him, where to find him at, so that way you can hire him. And also, he has a giveaway. And I'm going to let him talk about the giveaway, and I will tell you how you can obtain it.
Tom, you have been a phenomenal host. My name is still Brian Keith McNeill. If you search me under Brian K. McNeill. Google search, because there's another guy named Brian McNeill that does bluegrass music. But if you search Brian K. McNeill, you'll see all my videos on YouTube. I've got about 41 videos on YouTube. I'm all over the place. I'm easy to find. My website is very personal sales with an S coaching.com. Very personal sales coaching.com. It's my opinion that most sales training misses the mark because it's not personalized enough. So my company is called Very Personal Sales Coaching.com. You can find me on Facebook, Brian K. McNeill, with McNeill spelled with 2 L's, McNeill, Brian K. McNeill. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm a big LinkedIn guy. My name is Brian K. McNeill. Or you can find me on LinkedIn as The Most Fun Speaker. The Most Fun Speaker. One word. You can find me like that on LinkedIn. So you can Google me, Brian K. McNeill. You can go to my website, verypersonalsalescoaching.com. You can call me directly. Call me directly at 919-345-4893. I will talk to any one of you for about 10 minutes for free. About 10 minutes is enough time for us to determine what we're going to do. I will talk to anyone for about 10 minutes for free. 919-345-4893. Now, whenever I have an opportunity, like on someone else's platform, tonight, this is Common's platform, I offer a free gift. I offer one very personal sales coaching session to someone. I'll let Kama pick it. But one person that's been on this call or takes part in this webinar is going to get their own free, very personal sales coaching session. I will treat you as if you paid me in full. It will be a very, very high content and full endeavor. After that trial, very personal sales coaching session I give, even if I never talk to you again the rest of your life, you will be much more profitable than you ever have been before. That's not what I hope to happen. It's what I know does happen.
All right. Sounds great. Sounds great. And for those that are watching, what I'm going to do is kind of extend it for the next 24 hours. If you can at least email me 3 of Brian's 10 key tips to be a champion, I want you to email that to me. And the first person that gets that to me within the next 24 hours,
that's a good idea.
Sure, I will get that information to you. You said what? I'm sorry?
I said that's a great idea.
Yes, I want people to watch. I want them to watch it again and again, because you will get something out of this. That's the beauty of this. You will get something out of this show. So thank you again, Brian, so much. Thank you for being on my show. I'm really excited that I had you. I thank God for you, because I want my everything to soar. How you start something is how you're going to finish it. So I'm starting off this year great. I'm going to end the year great. I'm going to start off next year great. It's just going to always be great. So thank you so much for being on. And for those that are watching, you can always check me out. I am on YouTube, which you're watching, and you can actually click subscribe to all of my many interviews. I've done over 100 interviews thus far. I'm really excited about that. Also, you can go to Google Plus. If you're on Google Plus, I'm under Comma Speaks, and you can watch this video. Add me to your circles, or you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, not YouTube, I'm sorry, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter, all under Comma Speaks, K-A-M-A Speaks. Before I let you go, I'm really excited because on February 21st, which is a Saturday, from 10 to 3 here in Moreno Valley, California, I am hosting my very first entrepreneur conference. I am so excited about that. Thank you so much. I wish I had some more hands. We're going to clap for that again. I'm really excited about this because this is going to build a foundation for your business, how to get an LLC, how to or a corporation, the best way to go, the best entity that's for your business, how to get your banking, social media, how to go higher in your social media, business credit. Then you get to network with 100 other business people that's in different sectors, and you'll be able to meet people and use these tactics, because hopefully by then you've called Brian and signed up and got with him to use these same tactics to help you soar in your business. So February 21st, my first conference, and I will have Dwight Pledger, who is a motivational speaker. He's a realtor as well. He's one of Les Brown's Platinum. Many have seen him. He's spoken all over the country, and I'm really excited to have him as my keynote speaker. I'm making things happen. You need to make things happen. No more excuses, just results. And remember, no matter what you do in life, always, always, always pursue your passion. Thank you so much for watching.